Hello, and welcome to Shadow of War. I have a few memories of this back when it first came out. Because I watched a few playthroughs at the time when this came out. When I say a few, I mean one. Because the main channel that I used to watch when I watched the original stuff like years ago had stopped making content by then due to family reasons. Yeah, I don't know how long the episodes are gonna be for this series due to my internet situation. So, depending on how big this file is for this first episode, well, it depends if I'm going to do an hour or half an hour for these. Well, about an hour, I should say. But anyway, except until you can barely see the dagger ring symbol. Yeah, I can barely see it now. But then again, I'm not feeling good right now. Which I already have all that. Yeah, it's been about a week or two since the last time I've recorded. I've just been tired all the time and not feeling well. I still am, but I'm just saying screw it. I'll record anyway. I may not be doing so well, but I might as well do this so at least I feel better. Here we go. Xbox One wireless controller. Close enough. Invert Drake flying. Yeah, please. I don't like inverted controls at all. I don't know why that sounded like a Dark Souls effect. Oh well. Oh. Let's get going. We have the Shadow of War, Blade of Galadriel, and interesting. This I know nothing about. But it sounds like it's going to be a difficult game to play for that. But let's start with Shadow of War. Let's go with that. Let's just go with normal. Because I have played the first one on my channel. But apart from the environment, I have really no memory of much of this game. I just know after this game, we no longer have got the Nemesis system because of stupid copyright
I had
stuff.
a family once. a wife,
This is beautiful.
and a son. And I buried them along with everyone I even knew. What has happened to me? Am I dead?
You are banished from death. Cast adrift between the worlds of light and dark. You are bound together, Talion. My life and yours.
Who are you, Wraith?
I shaped the history of Middle-earth. I crafted the Rings of Power.
Celebrimbor, greatest smith of the Second Age. Sauron deceived you into making the rings. He tortured both you and your kin.
Perhaps that pain was what connects us.
I should have died with my family.
I thought you wanted revenge. But there is only one way to close the circle. To defeat Sauron.
The time has come for a new ring.
I don't remember that at the end of the first game.
The world of men is ending. I have seen it. I have felt it. In the fires of Mount Doom, a ranger and a wraith, bound together in death, craft the one thing that could challenge the Dark Lord. A ring of power. Power can blind those who seek it, and even the strongest bonds can be broken. The future I have seen cannot come to pass.
Celebrimbor.
Death calls to you again, Ranger. How do you answer?
Death calls to you, Ranger. Turns immediately around. Ah, fine.
Talion, this is beautiful. Where did you find it?
Oh, I still have a few friends left in Gondor. What's wrong, my love?
The past is the past. Nothing can be changed.
We must leave this place. We can go now.
What who knows? What it is.
Crawl into the lava.
The Wraith calls to you. I call to you.
Wraith! Where are you?
Isn't that the place from The Hobbit?
Celebrimbor.
Talion. Talion.
I will find you.
Okay, real quick. Okay, so the audio's okay then. I just wanted to make sure that the audio wasn't making people deaf.
Yeah, spider there. One of these things looks at me wrong. I'm gonna kill it.
Need to keep quiet.
Did you hear that?
These orcs are preparing for war.
Look up! Did I just hear? We must defeat her.
Yeah, I'm going home.
Talion. Talion.
You've come far.
Hi there.
Come, Talion. Free me. Batter down his defenses!
It's clear.
Oh shit, it's clear. Yeah, I'm surprised I'm doing so well. It's been months since I've played the first one. Fuck you. And fuck you. No goblin shall run you today. Speaking of which, whatever happened to the goblins after the Hobbit? Again, they could have been in the books. I still need to read those one of these days.
Celebrimbo, what has been done to you?
You've kept us waiting. Kept us waiting.
Free him!
Spider does not forfeit his prey, Ranger. Not unless a greater has set before it.
Oh, time to fight a spider. I got my shank. I'm ready.
I called you here for a reason. I called you here.
You will return him to me. Now.
You are brave. For a man. But it is not your sword that will save him. How much are you willing to sacrifice? To suffer. To suffer.
I have given up everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
To be fair, that's not his. That's
You want
Celebrimbor's.
the ring?
You would give me the ring for the Wraith.
And find myself beside him in your web.
I am Shelob, and I deal only in truth. I wouldn't give it up either.
Wait.
Time now!
I'm going to show you a magic trick.
Take your prize.
I'm impressed, Ranger. He must mean something to you. Go to your puppet before he dies.
You have doomed us, Talion. Her power was vast before, and now you have given her mine. I poured my life force into that ring.
Then we must take it back.
The war you came to fight is not here. The ring is lost. So look to Minas Ithil and the Dark Lord's armies that surround it. Look to the Palantir. Sauron will not stop until all of Middle-earth is dominated.
The Palantir must be protected.
Minas Ithil. I must know if Shelob's vision holds true.
I still voted that we should have left him behind. But then again, the ring itself could have been just a minor ring of power, so.
The spiders showed us the truth. Gondor's last fortress in Mordor cannot fall.
But fall it will. It's not like we can do anything about it.
The Palantir is our concern. We must seize it before it falls into Sauron's hands. With it, his armies will be unstoppable. The fate of the city matters not.
I will not let them be slaughtered like my brothers at the Black Gate.
If I had a vote,
We
I
need
say
to
we
do
blow it
something.
up.
Taking out the captain should buy the Gondorians some time.
And they could lead us to the Palantir. We must find a worm and make him talk.
Yeah.
are we even waiting for?
There. His mind is weak. Who leads the search for the Palantir?
Dave! Okay. Intel on captains reveal their weaknesses, allowing for you to precisely target their vulnerabilities and use the power of Wraith to apply their fears. This captain is a commander. He will always be surrounded by his gain of points. Becomes dazed after stealth attacks. Oh, so he doesn't get instantly killed by them like how he could be in the first one. I wasn't done looking at it.
The captain leading the search is in the lower city.
Then he will go no further.
I wanted to keep him.
What do I know about them sins?
Okay, he becomes dazed. Can't be injured by executions. Okay. Embodies those who fight alongside him, enabling them to fully unleash their power, battle lust. Immune to range. Okay. Flees after being stealth attacked. Heavily damaged by stealth attacks. Okay. Becomes over days when immobilized by. Oh! That's days. Vulnerabilities. Okay. Moral weaknesses. Dazed by. Damage executions. Damaged by fire.
Go on a beast hunt, track them for days, gut them with my knife, and then have a feast.
Okay, details again. Be damaged by. Okay. You. Can be grabbed or mounted without being weakened. Heavily damaged by poison. Heavily damaged by peace attacks. Because I know in the first one you could instantly kill people with some of these. How did you get down here, Italian?
They really put up a fight for the middle city.
Okay, so we do have Wraith mode. Oh, the fire's different in Wraith mode now. Because I don't remember the fire lighting up in Wraith mode. Can I be the rat?
You should have kept your mouth shut. Now it's stuck back in the rear instead of where the fighting is. Everybody laughed. It was worth it to it's the Grave Walker. I thought he was dead. He is.
Italian, the bow.
Don't worry. There'll be plenty of man-filth left to kill.
Yes. Right, it's A is the to run.
It doesn't look good for the Gondorians. We have to help.
The Palantir is a powerful artifact. If we were to possess it,
We could turn the tide.
Yes, but we could also destroy it. Because I don't know what happens if you destroy one.
What's all these stinking pink skins?
target their captains.
Question, why isn't the battle being more active? Are we so far behind that we're not being assailed by, you know, artillery? I have many a question.
He's close.
The Wraith world will reveal his presence. Moog.
All the humans in Mordor, then Gondor, then all the elves, and the dwarves and the hobbits. Oh, we got lots to fight.
Bullshit that you know about the hobbits.
It's round and it's blue. They call it the Seeing Stone. You see that, then you come running to me. Do not touch it. Now I'm gonna say that again. Do not touch it. If it doesn't kill you, then I will.
We were escorting a cart full of explosives, so probably wasn't a good idea to start setting each other on fire. But escorting things is so boring. How else were you gonna pass the time?
Fight me blade to blade.
For Gondor!
Get the fuck out of here!
You will die there, orc! You will never take our city!
Oh, I've heard stories about you and your wraith. Stories about how you can't die. Well, let's find out if they're true. Don't let
I guess we're not getting information out of him. Oh, we're actually getting new weapons instead. I wonder if there's an achievement for going through all of the level 1 gear. I do have a question. How do we replace this? It's a ghost bow. Do we just pick up a normal real bow?
Why are you out here alone?
My raiding party was trapped in the lower city overnight.
How many of you were there?
Not enough.
Nina Seathal still stands.
We're about to lose the middle city, Ranger. They'll be closing the gate if they haven't already. We need to get up there as fast as we can.
I'll be right behind you. Wait. What is your name?
Idril,
Talion.
don't fall behind, Talion. We've lost enough men today.
I don't wanna.
Do you hear that, Ranger?
No.
They're closing the gate.
Then let's cut a path up there.
Sergeant Tarandor's going to need our help. Let's move.
Okay, Sergeant Timidol. That was not what I was expecting. I was not expecting to come up here and to find an orc that's coming out of the fire.
Terrain will need our support. We can't leave him out here.
I'm sorry, but I'm out here killing.
This is just like Shelob's vision.
If Sauron's forces get the Palantir, all of Middle-earth will share the same fate.
Hasn't looked good for weeks. Stay and I'll give you a quick death. Sergeant Dagon and his men are at the arena. We must aid them. Crush you! Lost the guy. Don't let him.
We've lost the middle city. Rally at the gate.
Keep moving. We'll cover your retreat.
Get closer, Trog. Closer.
The middle city is falling. Pick your target.
Join us. The gate is closing.
Looking right behind you. Kill them all. Kill them all.
The Conga Line of Death!
The middle city is lost.
Pulling back. Go, Sergeant Dagon. We're pulling back. The middle city is lost.
Not before we finish these filthy drugs.
You made a mistake coming here.
Sealing the gate. Move out. Move out.
Die, weak.
Faster, Ranger.
No!
Pigskin! Take it, Glow! Gonna kill you!
Get closer, Trog. Closer.
The only thing you used to be.
Quickly, under the gate.
Get moving!
What are you doing?
I won't be long. Go.
Have the archers provide support.
Hold to use glaive. Okay. Done. dun dun da dun da dun 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 da dun. No, I refuse to use it.
We've lost the Middle City. We made them pay for every inch of ground, but they now hold it.
Then our fate will be decided here. Our inner wall is our strongest. We have double their archer.
We cannot match the orcs for their numbers or ferocity.
Now, our people have held back Sauron's forces before.
But some things were lost forever.
Yes, of course they were. Go to the Great Hall. Secure the relics.
My place is here.
Make sure they are taken to Hennefernon.
Is that an order?
You must understand. We must protect what is most precious
At all costs.
Yes. That is an order.
Then I'll see it done.
Is he voice? Is the guy who voiced the other ranger?
But I'll be back on the wall before their next assault.
Is the guy who voices the ranger in the first game voices him? They sound very similar. If not exactly the same.
A ranger from the Black Gate. I thought you were all dead.
You heard the truth.
If you've come to fight for Minas Ithil, Ranger, report to Captain Berenor.
Not come to join your army, General, but for the Palantir and its safekeeping.
Protect the city, and the Palantir will be safe. However, our raiding parties are targeting enemy captains in the lower city.
You wish to spread terror in their ranks.
Yes. It's about time they tasted fear.
The men are assembled, General.
Ooh, I got money. Yeah, time to give us a new skill. Predator, combat, range, wraith, mounted, and story. No! Eh.
We need to secure the Palantir now. The city is weak, and it will not hold for much longer.
But we cannot leave the Gondorians to their fate. Castamir is right. By protecting the city, we protect the Palantir.
Look.
The
No.
towers bear his mark.
Those were my towers once. Now Sauron's corruption spreads beyond the borders of Mordor. He mocks me.
They give him sight.
Not without the Palantir.
Let's clear the Palantir. Complete quest to prevent the Palantir from falling into Sauron's hands. The Eye of Sauron. Unknown, unknown, unknown. Fast travel has not been unlocked. Okay, I don't want to do photo mode.
We will dismantle his hold on Minas Ithil. We will shift the tide of war.
Oh, we got some more stuff. Mirian, ancient coinage. It seems uncommonly light, yet holds a flint to the touch. Hard as flint to the touch. Coins made of dwarven mithril. Mirian was the primary currency used by the elves long ago in Middle-earth when the first rose to power. When he first rose to power, Sauron ordered Mirian confiscated or destroyed. So Mordor is one of the few places where Mirian still exists. Even there, it is a curiosity to the orcs who find it and a rare artifact for those who know its ancient history. Talion and Celebrimbor's weapon, the New Ring. The time has come for a new ring. Seeking a means to counter Sauron's influence in Mordor, Talion and Celebrimbor fashioned a new ring of power in Samroth Noir, the same place Sauron forged the One Ring. Because Sauron does not currently possess the One Ring, they believe that the new ring is free of his influence. Because Celebrimbor was the greatest jewelsmith of his age and remembers the techniques Sauron taught him, the new ring is every bit as powerful as the 9 rings of power and every bit as dangerous. Inscribed upon the new ring are these words: I renounce the blessed realm to redeem the lands of shadow and bind the walls of Erdra. In the place of the Dark Lord you shall have light undiminished. All shall fear me and rejoice. It sounds that this ring's also corrupted. Because Celebrimbor's corrupted. Mordor's seeing stones. With each tower we reclaim, the Witch King's vision diminishes. Rough imitations of the Palantir tree. Herdir are Sauron's means of overseeing Mordor. Like Palantir, they enable long-distance observations and communications, though they lack the range and power of the Palantir. Like a Palantir, each Herdir is fashioned of dark crystal and invested with the Dark Lord's power. While Herdir is incapable of the subtle mind manipulations that the owner of a Palantir can accomplish, the stone is sufficient to transmit a strong emotion such as hate or fear, and a master can project his will through a Herdir to dominate weak-minded orcs. We only know of what, 2? At least 2 from the movies, The Lord of the Rings, because there's the one in Saruman's tower. And I think Sauron has one as well. I know 2 are in the sea. Talion's sword. Upon this sword I swear, never shall I rest until Sauron stirs in the shadows. Urfil Sundarian for fiery gleaming brilliance. Was Talion's sword in life, serving as his primary weapon. When he was a ranger of Gondor, he retrieved it when the Black Hand of Mordor banished him from death, and has wielded it ever since. For Talion, the sword is an extension of the self and a distillation of all his ranger training. When Talion swore vengeance for his family's death, he did so on this sword in keeping with Gondor tradition. Talion's dagger reminds me of a simpler time and why I fight. The dagger, Archaon, was once a sword belonging to Dirhild, Talion's sword, broken when the orcs seized the Black Gate and killed Talion's family. The sword was has an intact hilt and several inches of undamaged blade, making it a serviceable and silent weapon. As is Gondorian custom, Talion gave the makeshift blade a name in Sundarian. Archaon means vengeance. He later inscribed it with the following in Sundarian: a dagger secret in the night, terrifying evil doers who might give back with blood. Swallows pain and red becomes black. Celebrimbor's bow. Let my arrows fly true and their target cease to be. Celebrimbor's bow was a gift from Narvi, a dwarven maker who was Celebrimbor's collaborator in life. The two created many wonders in Middle-earth together, including the doors of Dorian that led to the dwarven realm of Moria. The arms of the bow have an inscription on them in Kodul, the language of the dwarves. Narvi had me made for the ringsmith and for his loyal service. His arrows may truly hit their mark. Oh dear, we got Mount Doom. Oh, you know what? I'm going after I get done reading all this. I'm going to call it an episode. Mountain of Fire. Mount Doom was his forge. It was the source of his power, and it will be the source of his destruction. Another reason why the ring might be corrupted. Mountain is the source of his power. The fiery heat of Mordor. Mount Doom is a massive volcano, also known as Amon Amarith, Mountain of Fate, and Ordoran, Fiery Mountain. Sauron forged the One Ring at Mount Doom, and later Celebrimbor perfected it there, then stole it. And thus it is the only place where it can be truly destroyed. The mountain has a preternatural connection to Sauron, laying dormant when Sauron is not present in the world, and flowing with eruption when the Dark Lord is active. Within Mount Doom is Samarath Noir, the chamber where Sauron fashioned the One Ring. And when Celebrimbor and Talion would come to craft the new Ring of Power, Sindrian for Chambers of Fire, Samarath Noir is often deserted, for the orcs believe it to be a cursed place and do not approach it willingly. They did probably the lava would eat them. Gondor's Last Hope. Ithil. Minas Ithil has many names: the Tower of the Moon, the Fair and Radiant, the Forgotten City, but to me it is home. Minas Ithil, Tower of the Rising Moon in Sondarian, is a fortified city on the western edge of Mordor, the last refuge of man in that land. Founded by the refugees after Numenor's destruction, the city was built of white marble to catch and reflect the moonlight. It softly glows in the twilight, and when the moon is high in the sky, a sapling of the white tree, Gondor's symbol, was planted here as early as the Second Age, but Isildur removed it when Sauron threatened Minas Ithil during the War of the Last Alliance. After Sauron's defeat in the city, Minas Ithil was restored as a Gondorian fortress. It remains so to this day, though the orcs of Mordor draw ever closer, so taking the only place in Mordor beyond the reach of the returned Dark Lord. The fortress protects more than the men within its walls. However, it guards one of the Palantiri singing stones made by the elves in a bygone age. I actually have the white tree as a card. I also have it in foil, which was a really lucky and weird pull because I don't really use white in Magic. I usually use blue, but when I use white and blue, it is a usually an enchantment landfall deck. Which it is an enchantment. Which is weird. They can't make it an effect. It would also be weird. That's not what I wanted to do. Gondor, Jewel of the West. Gondor is vast and is true. Even at the edge of Mordor, where darkness threatens to swallow us, Gondor will survive, even if we do not. The greatest realm of men at the end of the Third Age, Gondor traces its heritage to Numenor, explorers from the Western Sea who settled it centuries ago. Founded by Isildur and his brother, Anauron? Gondor has long stood as a counterweight to Mordor. Sauron went to war with Gondor and the other nations of men shortly after the island of Numenor collapsed beneath the waves, but the last alliance of men and elves defeated him when Isildur cut the One Ring from Sauron's finger. A succession of kings descended from Anauron ruled the realm until the Witch King of Anmor lured Arnor into a solitary quest from which he never returned. Since Eleanor's disappearance, Gondor has been ruled by a steward hereditary position that exercises the power of king until someone of Isildur and Eonaron lines appears to reclaim the throne. Stewards disdain the trappings of royalty and dismiss the likelihood that a king will ever return. Gondor's fortunes have waned of late as Sauron has grown more powerful. Western regions have come under assault by forces from Mordor. Easterling tribes and corsairs along its southern shores, Gondorians on the realm's frontier in places like Minas Ithil fear that they'll be next to fall to darkness. The Black Gate, Mordor's great rampart. One does not simply walk into Mordor. Its black gates are guarded by more than just orcs. I wanted to scroll down. Morannon, the Black Gate of Mordor, is an immense wall built across Cirith Gorge, the pass that serves as Mordor's northwest entrance. Built by Sauron himself in the Second Age, the Black Gate was in Gondor's possession when Talion was stationed as captain there. The Black Hand of Sauron attacked the Black Gate, slew Talion's family, and began this ritual that ended in Celebrimbor and Talion being bounded together. But that was Celebrimbor who possessed the Black Hand who did that. We see that in the DLC in the first game. Rohan, land of the Horse Lords. Let this be the hour when we draw swords together. Fell deeds awake, now for wrath, now for ruin and the Red Dawn. The grasslands of Rohan to Mordor's northwest are known for the hardy farmers and herdsmen who call it home. The clans of Rohirrim, a lands-locked nation. Rohan is known for its exceptional horses and the peerless cavalry that patrols their borders. Rohan rose from various horse clans in the Second Age who aided Gondor in battle against the orcs of Mordor. Eorl the Young was Rohan's first king, and his line lasted until Helm Hammerhead's death. The second line of kings began under Helm's nephew, Frilaf, and lasts to this day, aided by the counsel of the wizard Saruman, whose tower of Isengard lays within Rohan's borders. Uruk-hai, Mordor's legions. Do you know how the orcs first came into being? They were elves once, taken by the dark powers, tortured and mutilated, a ruined and terrible form of life. Now perfected, my fighting Uruk-hai, whom do you serve? At his behest, an Uruk is at his best. An Uruk is a handy, cunning warrior capable of enduring immense pain and provision. At his worst, an Uruk is thuggish, disloyal, and capable of shocking cruelty. The Uruk-hai are much like Mordor itself, dark-hearted, dangerous, and keen to spread pain and war. They tend to be pragmatic when it comes to industry and warfare. Uruk forges are marvel of brutal efficiency, and their armies wreak destruction on a scale Middle-earth hasn't seen for ages. They are also ruled by the fear of their master, whether dark or bright. Absent that fear, the orcs are no less dangerous, but perhaps redeemable under the Bright Lord's guidance. The Uruk-hai are orcs bred for war, and thus they have a heritage that stretches back to the First Age, when Morgoth twisted elves from the east into what Middle-earth known as orcs today. Celebrimbor used them as the backbone of his army when he assaulted Mordor in the Second Age. And Sauron and later Saruman altered the orcs further. As a result, the Uruk-hai do not breed as men do. Instead, they arise full-grown from sorcerous vats. ready to march to war from the moment they spawn. Grunt Orcs, battle rolls. You get to witness the might of the Uruk, real warriors. No two orcs are alike, but the rank and file troops in Mordor's army share some characteristics. Grunts are orcs who received a modicum of battle training after emerging from the vats, and they sent into battle with basic arms and armor. They made up the bulk of Mordor's armies. Hunters practice endlessly with their spears, and melee and at range are capable of bringing down beasts and men alike. Savages wield 2 axes and are used as shock troops, flinging themselves headlong into battle. Defenders tend to be larger, stronger orcs, a necessity due to their heavy shields and long polearms. Archers trained with crossbows and are often employed as guards on orc watchtowers. Commander, leading the horde. You're not in command of anything here. Not this battle, not my boys, not even your own destiny. I own all 3. Rarely encountered alone, commanders make their orcs around them fight harder through their mere presence. They direct the grunts under their command, coordinate their efforts, making simultaneous attacks and surrounding enemies. Some commanders keep nearby reinforcements and reserves in case of surprise attacks, and a few use themselves to draw out enemies before calling in a gang of orcs to turn the tide of battle. They are also the most ambitious orcs, eager to ascend through the ranks, and resentful when someone hinders their progress. High-ranking commanders get promoted when their boss dies in battle or has a lethal accident. Sauron, Dark Lord of Mordor. Sauron has armies. He has the Nazgul, but his true power is knowing the weaknesses of his enemies. Originally an immortal spirit called Maiar. Sauron is older than Middle-earth itself. From the beginning of time, Sauron wished to bring order to the world. He do through the power of his craft and his alliances. He joined the first Dark Lord, Morgoth, until a war with the elves eventually cast Morgoth out beyond the world. Sauron escaped and hid in Middle-earth, but he survived and had learned from his master he would do what Morgoth could not. Sauron formed an alliance with the elven jewelsmith Celebrimbor, and together they created the Rings of Power. In secret, however, Sauron created the One Ring to dominate all the others. Sauron poured much of himself into the One Ring, which made him more powerful, but also more vulnerable. After the One Ring was lost, Sauron's abilities to take physical form became limited. He has returned to Mordor, rules his armies from the shadows of Barad-dûr. If he is not stopped, he will assume physical form once more. His armies will not be contained within Mordor any longer. Forthog? Michael Forgry, 1973 to 2016. A legend among the orcs of Mordor. Forthog, Orc Slayer, is an unstoppable warrior who steps from the shadows to save Mordor's mightiest heroes at the moment of greatest need. Mike Forthog, Forgry. That orc has, I think, a lute fashioned into an axe. Was our executive producer and a great friend here at Monolith. We lost Mike to cancer during the development of Shadow of War, and we want to remember and honor him with a little bit of immortality in Mordor. The legendary Forthog Orcslayer is our way to remember Mike as he lived, always ready to leap into the fray and save the game whenever and wherever he was most needed. Idril, the story of the past shapes us, they damn us. They hold forth an ideal for us to live up to. Most of us fail, but we strive, and that's what matters. Second Captain Idril is a shield maiden and the only child of Mythos military leader, General Castamir. She is a trained soldier defending against the Witch King's siege and is eager to prove herself in battle. Idril is strong-willed, proud, and very conscious of coming from a military family that has served Mythos for generations. She has trained all her life, but the siege of Ithil is her first true experience of war. She considers herself a custodian in the city and its foremost historian. Idril's mother died during an orc invasion raid when Idril was only 11, so Idril mostly had to raise herself. This has made her self-sufficient and relentless in pursuit of her goals. As an adolescent, her goal was to avenge her mother, and she repeatedly slipped into Kirith Ungol to attack orc encampments. After growing wary of Gondorian patrols, returning his daughter to safety, Castamir enrolled Idril in the military so she have a fighting chance when she inevitably sought orcs to slay. Before the siege of Minas Ithil, she spent much of her free time cataloging the vast collection of artifacts in Minas Ithil's Great Hall. She is familiar with its treasures, though the workings of some, like the Palantir, remain mysteries to her. Minas Ithil stands not because of its walls, but because of its people. We sit at the edge of a very dark sea, and we hold back the tide. General Castamir is the leader of Mythos military forces, a proud son of the Gondor, and a decorative war hero. Many see him as the only thing keeping Sauron's overwhelming siege forces at bay. He is a well-respected, but demanding leader with a practical and hard-nosed perspective that enables him to find uncontroversial solutions and takes calculated risks to achieve his goal. Castamir came from a military family following in the footsteps of his father and grandfather. He has a hardened exterior that doesn't falter, but an affectionate relationship with his daughter Idril, whom he loves above all else. When he appears humorless, a close look reveals an intelligent man who is deeply preoccupied with the fate of this city and is beginning to show the strains of it. Castamir is smart enough to know a hopeless situation when he sees it, yet practical enough to wrest what advantage he has from the enemy. Dagor. I never wanted to be a leader, but killing orcs comes naturally to me, so here we are. Those who knew Dagor as a child described him as a bit off and someone who didn't always play well with other children. Dagor never threw off this reputation as he matured, but he did develop an undeniable talent. He's a natural when it comes to killing. He discovered this talent as an adolescent when a trio of bandits mistook him for an easy target. He soon joined the ranks of Gondor's finest and quickly established a reputation as a loner and a killer. Dagor's superiors repeatedly pushed to promote him, but he declined. He insisted that he was a fighter, not a leader. He only relented when they told him he'd be given his choice of missions if he led his own men. Today, his unit draws in those who want only one thing, a choice to kill. Or a chance to kill. Theldor! If the fate of Middle-earth will be decided at Minas Tirith, then that is my post. Talendor comes from a military family with a long history of service to Gondor. His forebears all service in the garrison of Minas Tirith, training for war, but knowing, thanks to the long dormancy of Sauron, only peace. Throughout their service, these men, however noble their service, face no greater enemies than boredom and routine. For the first few years of his service, Terodor's situation was the same, and at times he yearned for battle, to be tested, to be of real service to his kingdom and its people. When the yearning always came with a pang of guilt that he should be dissatisfied with the peace that he had been so that has been so hard won. All this fell away when the siege banners came out over the horizon. Since then, the only days Theodore's not on the walls are those when he is raiding behind enemy lines. Horin. You trogs walk around Mordor like you own the place. Well, you don't, and you never will. Horin has the distinction of being the only soldier in this to achieve the rank of sergeant 3 times, because he's been demoted twice. As a recruit, Horin made a name for himself with an aggressive, can-do attitude, but his superiors found his demeanor abrasive, and he was demoted and nearly chastured for striking a superior officer. He rose through the ranks a second time, only to find his rank reduced for delegation of duty after an off-duty celebration grew out of control. Now it's his 3rd ascent, though the army's ranks, and Horin is doing everything he can to keep his temper under control. Even so, Baranor must repeatedly remind him to save it for the orcs. Lorith and Durrell. Talion's family, on winds and water may you cross, see mountains white and blue, but on your road, let's not forget the love I have for you. Lorith met Talion in Minas Tirith when he was a young soldier, then joined him in near exile after Talion slew a nobleman who attacked her. Following Talion to his new posting among the Rangers of the Black Gate, Lorith gave birth to their son, Darrell. There, the family grew up amid the military encampment, accustomed to Spartan conditions and life on the frontier. The Sauron sword attacked the Black Gate, and despite Talion's efforts to keep his wife and son safe, the Black Hand of Sauron captured all 3. Talion was forced to watch as the Black Hand murdered Lorith and Darrell. The Black Hand then slit Talion's throat as well, but Columbari's spirit found a home in Talion's fallen form. The duo rose from death and eventually killed the Black Hand, avenging Talion's wife and child. Considering what we know, Talion has yet to avenge his wife and child. At least not completely. Talion the Grave Walker. Could you really rest for all eternity knowing that you had the chance to stop him, but did nothing? The time has come for a new ring. Talion's life is one of perseverance. Through tragedy, a ranger captain stationed at the Black Gate between Gondor and Mordor. Talion battled the servants of Sauron when they attacked the fortress. Talion fought bravely but was captured, then forced to watch the Black Hand of Sauron slew his wife and son. Talion was the next to fall at the Black Hand's blade, but instead of dying, he found himself banished from death and bound to an elven wraith. Celebrimbor, the 2 inhabited Talion's body, and Talion found himself denied the peace of the afterlife with his family. Seeking revenge against Sauron and the 3 servants who murdered his family, the Hammer, the Tower, and the Black Hand. Talion and Celebrimbor fought a guerrilla war against the orcs of Mordor, avenged Talion's family, and fought Sauron to a standstill. Now Talion seeks to end Sauron's dominion over Mordor and saves the rest of Gondor from the fate of the doomed soldiers of the Black Gate. To this end, he and Celebrimbor has fashioned a new ring of power. They hope it will give them the upper hand. Here's the thing. Why didn't Celebrimbor make, I don't know, like a pendant or something? Like, make something like the Millennium Ring and have it that it would detect and allow them to find the One Ring. So they could just find it and throw it into the volcano. Or give it to a hobbit and then throw the hobbit into the volcano. Celebrimbor, forger of the Rings of Power. I shaped the history of Middle-earth. I crafted the Rings of Power. Last of the House of Fëanor. Celebrimbor, Hand of Silver and Sindarian, was the greatest of the elven craftsmen, responsible for crafting the Rings of Power. Working with Sauron, Celebrimbor made 16 great rings for the men and dwarves. Without Sauron's knowledge, he made 3 more rings for the elves. Yet he was deceived by Sauron, who had crafted the One Ring to dominate the other rings. Sauron then captured Celebrimbor and desecrated him to further directed him to further perfect the One Ring, inscribing it with Tengwar script. Realizing the scope of Sauron's ambition, Celebrimbor escaped with the One Ring. Here's the thing, the One Ring has a will of its own as well. Sure. Using the One Ring's power to raise an army of Orcs fought Sauron for dominance over Mordor, and had taken battle against Sauron. Celebrimbor defeated the Dark Lord, but lost the One Ring when it slipped off his finger and onto Sauron's before the killing blow. In revenge, Sauron murdered Celebrimbor's family before his eyes, then killed Celebrimbor with his own smithing hammer. But with Celebrimbor's fate bound to the One Ring, he was doomed to remain a wraith until the One Ring is unmade. Celebrimbor's spirit possessed Talion's body. When the Ranger died at the hands of the Black Hand of Sauron, Celebrimbor had been a wraith so long that he didn't intentionally remember his name or past, but when Talion's helped, he regained his memory, including the memory how to forge a new Ring of Power. Few in Mordor knew Celebrimbor by name, but many know him as the Bright Lord, a union of Talion and Celebrimbor. The present-day orcs flock to the Bright Lord's fortresses, don't realize that the Bright Lord they heard about the folk tales is the same historical figure, Celebrimbor himself, who took the Bright Lord moniker centuries ago when the first strove against Sauron. Shelob, Weaver of Fate, the last child of Ojlent, let us master this unhappy world. I serve none but myself. Shelob. Shelob's presence in Mordor predates that of Sauron. She is the last child of an ancient evil named Ungulent, and the many Middle Earth Mongolians, Maglin spiders, include those of Mirkwood, are Shelob's descendants. To most, she is known by the form of the Great Spider, which inspires fear in orcs and men alike. I don't remember, was Ungulent the spider that ate light? And I don't remember if it ate a sun or not. I think it ate a tree. Or was the tree the sun? I can't remember. When Talion and Celebrimbor forge a new ring, she snatches Celebrimbor away and exchanges him for the ring. The visions of the future she grants Talion guides his path through the siege of Minas Ithil and beyond. An uneasy alliance begins between the three. Though, as Celebrimbors want to remind Talion, while Shelob might be the enemy of Sauron, it is unclear whether she is their ally. And then we got all these other things, because we got main characters, free people, denizens of Mordor, orc culture, beasts, locations, and objects. But with that, I'm going to call that an episode. I'll see you all in the next.